Would you like to get some reassurance about the coronavirus? If so, stay tuned. Hello, my name is Douglas Bloch. I'm an author and mental health educator. Welcome to your Depression Recovery channel, where each week we talk about practical tools and coping strategies for healing from depression and anxiety. The title of today's video is Depression, Anxiety, and the Coronavirus. Before we start, of course, I need to tell my regular joke. We have all heard of the parable of Noah taking all the animals on the ark, the biblical tale. Well, I wondered for a long time where the bees went. Where did he put the bees? We put them in the archive, of course. All right, well, as I said, the title of today's video is Depression, Anxiety, and the Coronavirus. And normally I would wait a week before I made a video, but I thought I had to make this one because it's March 12th, 2020, and something extraordinary is happening right now. There's a pandemic called the coronavirus, and it's wreaking havoc on thousands of people, and more important, wreaking havoc on millions of psyches and the financial markets. Now, as contagious as this virus is, what's just as contagious, if not more contagious, is the panic and the fear that has many people in its grips. Therefore, for those of you like myself who suffer from anxiety and depression, I want to make sure that this episode of this virus and all that it's doing is not going to trigger you into an episode. So what I like to do is take a few moments and try to see if I can give you some perspective. Well, first of all, we should all be taking this virus seriously. The World Health Organization says that coronaviruses are part of a larger family of viruses that cause anything from colds to more severe respiratory infections. They can spread in a number of ways. One of them is, of course, when people are around each other. The other way is when people cough and sneeze and the droplets get from one person to the other. That's why we're having these quarantines right now and canceling of mass gatherings. They actually canceled the NCAA basketball tournament, the NBA. Schools are closing, so that's a good thing to keep people separate so we don't infect another. The other way it spreads is by you touching something in public that someone else has touched and getting the virus on your hands, and that's why they talk about washing your hands thoroughly, every so often, maybe many times during a day. I guess this is one point where people with OCD have an advantage. At any rate, again, we should really take seriously what the health authorities have to say. As I said before, as serious as this virus is, there's something just as serious or more serious going on. It's called fear contagion. Fear is spreading and panic is spreading more rapidly than the virus itself. Now, one manifestation we've all been seeing lately is people doing panic buying, going to the grocery stores and stockpiling on food, hand sanitizers, and toilet paper. Oh yes, you go to Costco, shelves empty, nothing there. Toilet paper has become the icon of mass panic. Now, why are people acting so irrationally and stockpiling all these goods? Well, what's going on is they're trying to take back control in a world they feel is out of control. Their primitive monkey brain is hijacked their more rational brain, their thinking brain, and it's running the show. Now, unfortunately, this panic only makes matters worse. This is why when Franklin Delano Roosevelt, our great president, came to office in 1932, at the height of the Great Depression, he said in his inaugural address, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. I'm sure many of you heard that, but it's absolutely true. The only thing you have to fear is fear itself. I wish one of the world leaders would say that to the public and maybe try to calm things down. So, returning to the title of this video, the question I want to pose is, how can we who suffer from depression and anxiety manage our emotional states so that we don't make matters worse for ourselves and for society? Well, the first thing is what I say to people going through a really bad depressive episode, the 4 magic words that can save your life: this too shall pass. All things are temporary, including what we're going through now. Another way of saying this is what goes down must come up. Back in 2008, when we had the financial crisis, the stock market dipped 50% over a year and a half, but 4 years later, it was back to where it started. In the same way, this virus will not be here forever. If we look at past viruses like Ebola, they eventually got contained. And even now, in China, where the outbreak started, the cases are starting to go downhill. And in Korea, they're leveling out and about to do the same. So, again, say to yourself, this too shall pass. The second thing to do is to reach out for support. Reach out to other people. Edward Hallowell, this very well-known psychiatrist, wrote a book called Worry, and one of his tenets of this book was never worry alone. There's something that happens when we share our fears with another person, that we feel calmer. Well, that's why I just spent 30 minutes on the phone with my brother. Also, let's start to practice the self-care activities we already know about. If you go to my website, www.healingfromdepression.com, click on the self-care tab and drop down, you'll see something called your brain maintenance program. That's where we list the categories I talk about of self-care: physical self-care, mental emotional self-care, social support, lifestyle habit, and spiritual support. So the big three I like to focus on are diet, exercise, and sleep. Exercise, right? I've been feeling very anxious, so what am I going to do when this video ends? I'm going to hop on my bicycle and take a ride around the block. That'll chill me out. What about diet? Well, I've been eating a lot of Yasu ice cream fudge bars. I highly recommend them, but what happens when I get a sugar high? Of course I crash. So it's better for me to eat complex carbohydrates like vegetables and oats and beans, things like that, stuff that burns very slowly and gives you even energy. What about sleep? Oh my God, sleep is the canary in the coal mine. All 4 of my nervous breakdowns, as we used to call them, started with disruption in sleep. Well, last night I woke up at 2, 3 in the morning, had a hard time getting back to sleep. I had to take an Ambien. I'm a little nervous about that, and I feel kind of wired today. So what can we do about this? Well, one of the things is to have good sleep rituals, like before bed, turn off all your devices, meditate, maybe take a warm bath, listen to relaxing music, and try to go to bed at the same time every day and wake up at the same time also. This regular sleeping patterns will help to calm your nervous system. And then there's also structure and routine. This is one of the big things that really helps people with depression and anxiety. So what I say is keep up your routines, keep going to your job, assuming it's still there, right? Or they haven't temporarily, shut the office down. But even then, you can keep up your self-care activities of maybe, taking a walk around the block or going to meet somebody for coffee. Just keep whatever structures you have in place. It will give reassurance to your nervous system and to your brain and your monkey mind that things are okay. And of course, if you really feel yourself getting out of control or you're worried about your emotional state, get on the phone and make an appointment with your therapist or your psychiatrist, or go to Psychology Today, find a therapist, and look one up. There's lots of them out there. Finally, do something positive to nurture yourself, such as getting a nurturing massage, or listening to relaxing music, or hanging out with your dog or your cat. Or what else can you do that's nurturing? I wrote it down right here. Oh yes, your spiritual resources, right? Prayer. Go to your spiritual community, go to a service, join with other people, get connected. And above all, if you really start to find yourself panicking and lunging into the future, catastrophizing about what has not yet happened, do my 3-step back to the present exercise. First, say, cancel, cancel. Stop those thoughts in their past, interrupt them. Secondly, take a deep breath. Feel your feet on the ground, your arms in the chair. Come back to the present and say, well, the future has not even happened, so it can't hurt me. And third, repeat something reassuring to yourself, a positive affirmation, a prayer. I like what that 14th century mystic Julian of Norwich said. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. Remember, we have nothing to fear but fear itself, and if history has taught us anything, it's that we can survive difficult times and come out better for it. This has been Douglas Bloch. Thank you so much for watching this video. After you're done, you can get back to your shopping. No, I was just kidding. Hopefully I've done something to allay your fears. I'm still a little jittery, but hey, this too shall pass, my favorite mantra. If you'd like to subscribe to this channel, click on my picture and you'll be taken to the subscribe page. And if you click on the little bell up there to the right, you'll be notified every time I do a video or do a live chat. If you want to basically contribute to this channel and become a monthly sustainer, click on the Patreon image that comes up. And if you want to leave some feedback for me, I love your comments. They're so really lovely. Write your comments in the comments section or email me, douglasbloch@gmail.com. And until we meet again, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. Thank you for watching.